Equa.
Good morning, man.
Lower the radio in the back,
radio.
please. Because we're
Good
on
morning, man.
Where?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine on this gloomy morning talking about the gloomy Mets and the highlight of their season, bringing David Wright back. I think once and for all, let's forget about David Wright.
Ooh, no.
One or two seasons. It's time to move past him. It's time to revamp that whole team. And by the time they revamp that team, all those pitches that they had touted are going to be gone because there's no third baseman. There's a shortstop that can field, and that's about it. We got rid of a second baseman. First baseman is not missing. You got two question marks in the outfield. It's a work in progress that could take decades.
Mike's been listening. I said all this stuff for 2 weeks. For the last 2 weeks, I was saying exactly the same thing. It's good to know that Mike's listening.
So
Mike, wait, are you a Met fan? Let's start there.
I've been a Met fan from back in the days when we were at Uncor scaling and flipping top baseball cards with Coach Ron Middleton, trading him Cub cards, if you remember,
yes,
for
we
Met
do.
cards.
He wanted to collect the entire Cubs team.
He did like the Cubs.
Yes. So if you brought in a Ron Santos, you got your Gil Hodges or George the Stork Theodore.
All right, but so you would be fine with the Mets saying to David Wright, look, we can't do this anymore.
It's a waste of time. It's an insult to the fans to keep talking about him when we're losing horrifically. It's time to move on. He will never, ever be the player he was or any type of major league player of impact.
Mikey, I slightly disagree with you for this reason. I think the Mets have no stories right now, good stories concerning their team.
Well, you hit it.
And
Story.
David Wright, if he can come back, now you're right, he's not going to be the David Wright of 5 years ago. That's not happening. But if he can come back and have like 2 good games, that's all. That's all you need from him, and then he can retire. He can say, "Okay, I came back."
Rob, yes, it's a publicity stunt. This brings me back into the other dismal days of the dog days of the '70s when the Mets got Willie Mays to hit 8 home runs for them. That's what it was.
That's true.
It was a team going nowhere. They got people to see Willie try to hit one.
Well,
out.
72 they were pretty good in 72, and 73 they won the pennant. So,
and of course, right after 73. What did they do in typical Mets fashion? They dismantled the team by getting rid of their number one offensive and most popular player. Tim, do you remember who they traded right after that season?
Tommy Agee? I don't even
No.
know.
Beginning of their worst trade scenarios. They got rid of Rusty Staub, who I believe had 103 RBIs that year.
That's right.
And they traded him to Detroit for broken down 40-year-old Mickey Lolich.
That's right.
Who for the next 2 seasons lost 20 games for the Mets.
That was a contract issue as much as anything.
yeah.
Because I don't know if you were listening a few weeks ago. Bill Madden was on with us, and he was talking about that. And Rusty actually wanted to sign an extension with the Mets. He wanted to stay with the Mets, but he would not compromise on the contract. And so the Mets said, all right, you know what, we got to get rid of this guy, and let's see what we can get for him.
Business fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
When you have your most popular guy for the fans, the town, the clubhouse, and the most productive offensive player you've had, you don't get rid of him. But guess what? They did it 2 years ago when they got rid of Daniel Murphy.
Yeah.
So in typical Met fashion, or when they got rid of Kevin Mitchell, after the 86.
True, but Mitchell, they blamed, and they mistakenly and erroneously blamed Mitchell for Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden.
Which was wrong.
And Mitchell was the only one of those 3 who was not doing drugs.
By the way, I just want to just make sure we got this correct. Actually, Rusty left after the 75 season, so we should say it wasn't 73, but it was 75. But that's still breaking up the team. I agree with you from that the 73 Mets was a good team.
It was obviously a very good team. They won the pennant.
So
got to the World Series.
But I would like to see David Wright just try to come back. I'm not bothered by it, especially right now, because the Mets have so many crappy things happening to them, except for DeGrom, which we talked about last week. This guy could have Cy Young numbers, but because he doesn't have the wins, he's not going to get
For him to have a Cy Young, he would have to win all his starts. he would have to get into a winning percentage.
Yeah.
He's not going to get a Cy Young with a 6-7, a 7-8, or so forth.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
they got to pull through for him. If he gets, 5 more starts possibly?
Well, he'll get more than that. I mean, it's only August 12th or whatever, so he's got 6 more weeks of season. He should get about 8 more starts, I guess.
If he could get at least 5 wins and 2 no decisions and, a 1 loss or something like that and get a winning record.
That would put him at 11-7.
And keep that ERA under 2 and get the strikeouts in the high 2s, possibly 3, yeah.
That'd be very cool.
I mean, I still think at this point that it's Max Scherzer's to lose. And they were talking about Max Scherzer on ESPN last night. If he wins the Cy Young this year, he becomes a first ballot Hall of Famer, Max Scherzer. And
good point.
For a guy who hasn't won a World Series and he's just been a very good pitcher. But I think Jacob deGrom has to be no lower than number 2 on the Cy Young list this season. And like Mike said, if he can get up to say 11-7 or so, and if the Mets can actually score some runs for him, and he keeps doing what he's been doing all season, I think there's going to be a lot of sabermetric types out there who are going to say, hey, you know what? This guy is getting the job done. He's been doing everything he possibly can, and let's not just look at Max Scherzer having 15 wins right now, or maybe getting 20 before the season's over, and let's not only look at that number and kind of judge accordingly.
Maybe they'll give him the sympathy vote for being with the hapless Mets. He'll get a couple votes for that.
I don't know if he'll get it. Maybe from the New York writers. I don't know.
Overcame adversity.
A lot of adversity. Well, thanks for calling in, Mike. We appreciate
enjoying the show as always.
Call in next week. We appreciate it.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Mike.
Take care, Mikey. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Always good to hear from Mike from Massapequa.
The old hometown.
Old hometown. Anyway, we're going to take a break right now. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. Timmy, you're at, Tim, you're at Twitter at
Real Tim Leonard.
Okay.
Yo. Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
Check it out.
I'm going to quiz you on how well do you know women?
I don't really know myself.
We're a complicated creature.
Hello, ladies. By puberty, how many eggs does the average female hold?
50?
Hold on. I'm going with, I want to say 2, but I want to say 3.
Okay. Nicole, you say 50, and Michelle, you say 2 or 3.
Wait, now you're making me feel stupid.
Don't give yourself the point, sweetheart, because you are wrong as hell.
Ooh. What is it?
300,000. Shows how much you know about your body.
The Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
Hey, have you seen DJ Solero?
No, why?
Well, he was supposed to be here right now to tell everyone about his show, The Rare Groove Session, but I can't find him anywhere.
I'll look for him. Maybe he got something to eat.
Food? He went to get food? I mean, who can eat at a time like this?
Relax. I'm sure everyone can figure out when they can listen to the most incredible music from the 60s and 70s that they may not have heard before.
But what if they can't? What if they never figure out when the Rare Groove Session is on? What happens then, huh? I don't want to live in a world where no one knows about the Rare Groove Session.
Hey guys, ready to tell everyone about RGS?
DJ Solero, where the have you been?
I was getting something to eat.
How can you eat at a time like this?
What are you talking about?
Don't mind her. Go ahead and tell everybody when to listen.
Okay, whatever. So if you're looking for some mind-blowing music, check out the Rare Groove Session. Now at a brand new time, late Friday nights or early Saturday mornings, depending on how you look at it, starting at 1 a.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome back to From the Press Box, part of the WHPC Sports Talk family. Because I don't know if you know this, Tim. Mondays at 5 p.m., Tuesdays at 5 p.m., Thursdays at 9 p.m., and Fridays at 3 p.m. There's more sports talk here on WHPC besides us.
I listen to all of those guys.
I hope you do. Fischetti, Eric Fischetti, on right before us, is on at 5 o'clock today. So that's something to look forward to.
I guessed it on that show.
I know. I remember.
Not so long ago.
I remember that.
About a month or so ago.
That's on the podcast if you're interested.
That's right.
Anyway, brother, what's going on with the Yankees?
Well, Here's the story with the Yankees. It's once again.
Where's your friend Croach?
Who cares where he is? But here's the story about the Yankees. There are so many Yankee fans right now, and it frustrates me with Yankee fans. They're miserable. They want to bench people. They want to release people, and
overreaction that all Yankee fans.
Not all. Please, there's a lot of very smart Yankee fans, and I still will put I still will put the knowledge of Yankee fans up against any fan base in baseball. But how can you complain if you're a Yankee fan when your team is 74-43?
You can't.
31 games above 500, the second best record in the league. Now, what can you do that the Red Sox are the team with the best record in the league? They're playing over 700 ball right now.
708.
It's one of those unlucky things. The Yankees have the second best record in baseball, and they're 9.5 games behind the Red Sox. Now, this past week, they swept the Chicago White Sox. They took 3 out of 4 from the Texas Rangers, so they've now won 6 out of 7. They allegedly play the Mets tonight, and I say allegedly because I'm looking out the window right now, and it's not looking like baseball weather outside.
Nope.
We'll see how that goes. Maybe they can get another rain out against Jacob deGrom. I'm hoping for that, but we'll have to see how that goes. But with all these makeups that the Yankees have, including tonight's game, I think I heard it yesterday. The Yankees have 5 days off the rest of the season, and 2 of those I'm pretty sure are next week. But I can't complain about what's going on with the Yankees. There's some moves that Aaron Boone is making that I maybe question. I don't know what he's doing with Luke Voit, now the recently acquired Luke Voit, the bat that they got at the trading deadline. Greg Bird has a game where he goes 2 for 4 with a couple doubles, and then he benches him the next day. It was against the lefty, so I guess there's some sense in that. But I think part of the Yankees' motivation going forward is they need to find out what's going on with Greg Bird and if he's going to be a reliable guy down the stretch and in the postseason. Now, last season when he came back from injury after being out for so long, he was a very effective player down the stretch. It took him a little while to get going, but he was a good bat. Now he's had a tough season. I really am hoping that he's going to turn into the player that the Yankee management, the organization, seems to think he will be. But it's been a kind of a frustrating wait this season. While Greg Bird now, I think at this point, is hitting about 220. So it remains to be seen. The good news for Yankee fans, and especially for those Yankee fans who were booing on during the home opener, is that Giancarlo Stanton is just red hot right now and just crushing the ball. And so many people pointed to last year, and throughout the season they would say, well, his numbers are about the same as they were last year. And then he started really hitting the ball, and he had I think he had something like 28 or 30 home runs in a 2-month span, which is unheard of. You're talking about a home run every other game. But now, after hitting another home run yesterday, Giancarlo Stanton has 5 home runs in his last 6 games. And he seems to be picking up at the same place he did last year. And if he can give the Yankees that kind of production down the stretch, well, they might not catch the Red Sox, but nobody's going to catch them. And
I don't expect anyone to catch them, Tim. You're right. I
don't either.
They're the second best team in baseball right now. You know what? It's
31 games over 500.
You can't really beat
I have
that.
no complaints.
Unless the Red Sox just collapse, which I don't think they are.
I mean, the Red Sox at this point are on the they're closing in on historic type of season. I don't think the Red Sox are going to set any kind of record for wins. That's the Seattle Mariners have the American League record with 116 wins in a season. I don't think the Red Sox are getting there, because even though they're playing 708 ball right now, 116 wins is even higher than that.
Yeah.
Now they're winning almost every game they play as it is. I read something that I think said they would have to go 37-11 in their last 48 games to reach 116 wins. That's
they have 85 wins right now. So
right, but 37-11 is something like 780 ball. Right. That's insane. I mean, to think that they're going to do that, you really have to be a delusional Red Sox fan.
Well,
it's not realistic. Let's put it that way.
Isn't delusional and Red Sox
well,
fan
yeah.